Q Squared is a unique and compelling science fiction novel written by Peter David, based on the popular Star Trek, The Next Generation universe. Released in 1994, the novel delves into the complexities of the enigmatic character Q, a being of vast power and intelligence who frequently interacts with the crew of the USS Enterprise. The novel is both a deep exploration of Q's character and an exploration of the philosophical implications of omnipotence, identity, and destiny. Plot overview. At its core, Q Squared explores the relationship between the universe's most powerful being, Q, and his interactions with the people and world around him, particularly Jean-Luc Picard and the crew of the Enterprise. The book opens with a seemingly ordinary encounter between Q and the Enterprise crew, but it quickly escalates into a much larger, more mind-bending story. The central conflict revolves around Q's manipulations of reality, time, and space. He introduces a parallel universe where the rules of existence are altered, and Picard, along with a few members of the crew, must navigate this new reality. The novel presents a series of challenges that test the characters' loyalty, understanding of morality, and ability to confront their own internal dilemmas. But it's not just the crew that is affected by Q's actions. Q himself begins to confront a deeper, more existential question about his own existence, his powers, and his role in the universe. The title Q Squared itself refers to the dynamic between two QS. In the narrative, the omnipotent Q is not the only one of his kind. There is a second Q who plays a key role in the events that unfold. This other Q offers a fresh perspective on the nature of the Q Continuum, the collective of Q-like beings. The novel becomes a journey of self-discovery for the characters involved, particularly Q, who must wrestle with the consequences of his meddling with mortal lives. Characterization. Peter David's writing brings out the complexity of the characters, especially Q, who is portrayed in a way that blends humor with philosophical depth. Q is often depicted as playful, mischievous, and arrogant. Yet beneath his grandiose persona lies a deep-seated vulnerability that is revealed gradually over the course of the novel. Jean-Luc Picard, as the steady and rational leader of the Enterprise, is well represented. His interactions with Q are always interesting, as they force Picard to confront not only his own moral code but also the very nature of what it means to be human when faced with an all-powerful being like Q. The supporting characters from the Next Generation, such as Riker, Data, Troy, and the rest of the crew, also play crucial roles, although they do not dominate the plot in the same way as Picard and Q. The fact that the novel does not over-rely on action, instead focusing on dialogue, moral dilemmas, and the exploration of complex themes, allows for a deeper emotional and intellectual engagement with the story. Themes and ideas. One of the standout aspects of Q Squared is the way it tackles weighty philosophical and existential questions. At the heart of the novel is the exploration of identity, both for Q and the humans around him. Q, as a near-immortal being, has lived countless lives and experiences. Yet, through the introduction of the second Q, Peter David explores the idea that even beings with infinite power are still subject to self-reflection, growth, and perhaps even doubt. This adds a layer of complexity to Q's character, who is often portrayed as an omnipotent trickster. The novel also delves into the concept of parallel universes and alternate realities, offering a fascinating take on the idea that choices shape the course of existence. This is particularly effective because it allows the story to reframe the relationship between Picard and Q. What if the two had met under different circumstances? What if their roles were reversed? Another key theme is the question of destiny and free will. Picard's confrontation with Q forces him to consider whether his decisions are truly his own or if they are dictated by a larger, more incomprehensible force. The struggle between free will and determinism is explored in a way that raises thought-provoking questions about our own lives and the choices we make. Writing style. Peter David's writing in Q Squared is accessible yet sophisticated. His style has a certain playfulness to it, particularly in the interactions between Q and the Enterprise crew. The banter between the characters is sharp and witty, which adds an enjoyable sense of levity to what could otherwise be a dense, philosophical story. However, David also ensures that the narrative is never shallow. He uses humor and dialogue as a vehicle to explore deeper, more existential questions about power, identity, and morality. One of the strengths of David's writing is his ability to capture the voice of the Star Trek characters in a way that feels authentic. Fans of the series will immediately recognize the personalities of the crew, and the novel stays true to the spirit of the show while expanding upon its themes. The pacing is well balanced, allowing for moments of introspection and action to coexist without overwhelming the reader. Criticisms. While Q Squared offers a thoughtful and engaging exploration of the Star Trek universe, some readers may find the plot overly complex or slow-paced at times. The philosophical elements can be dense, and the intricate nature of the alternate realities might confuse those unfamiliar with Star Trek or its more abstract concepts. Additionally, the secondary characters, while well represented, sometimes feel sidelined in favor of the more dominant Q Picard dynamic. The novel's focus on Q's internal struggle and existential questions might not appeal to readers who are looking for a more action-driven narrative. There is less emphasis on the traditional Star Trek space battles or exploration, and more on intellectual and personal challenges, which may not satisfy all fans of the series. Conclusion. In conclusion, Q Squared is an intelligent and thought-provoking entry in the Star Trek novel series. Peter David has crafted a story that is not only a fascinating exploration of Q's character but also a deep philosophical inquiry into identity, morality, and the nature of reality. Fans of Star Trek: The Next Generation will appreciate the authenticity of the characterizations and the thematic depth, while readers who enjoy science fiction with a strong intellectual core will find much to admire in David's exploration of parallel worlds and existential dilemmas. While it may not be the most action-packed or straightforward Star Trek story, Q Squared stands out for its ambition and its ability to provoke deep reflection on the nature of power, choice, and the self. It's a novel that requires patience and engagement, but for those willing to invest in its complex narrative, it rewards with a rich and satisfying experience.